something to do with it.
All right. Hello, folks, and good evening to a very special podcast of the Grand Iron Power Hour at the Hours.
Yeah.
And you already know who we are, so I'm going to jump into this one right away. Today's topic, athletes and mental health issues. Everybody has them.
Well, mental health in general, it doesn't have to be from the athletic world. It can be
anywhere
in your own backyard.
Yeah.
It's everywhere, folks.
Yeah. And for you listeners who are listening in, here might be coming a shocker. But for the past 30 or so years, I have been diagnosed with mental illness for over 30 years.
Okay, apparently we're wow.
From when I was 5 up until now, I'm almost 40, and I've been having this one for over 30 years. And I made my peace with it a long time ago.
Did you know you had it, or was it a doctor's diagnosis, or did you?
Apparently, odd story about that is back in elementary school, the principal and even the teachers thought I was mentally retarded until they sent a psychiatrist to see me. And he told my mother that I had depression.
Oy.
I wasn't mentally retarded. I just had depression.
And usually that's how mental illness usually starts. With that.
Yeah.
And you don't know why, you don't know how, you don't know anything.
And here's the kicker, folks. Nobody but my family knew I had it. I haven't told my best friend of 30 years that I had a mental illness. I never told him.
I've listened to podcasts and stories and interviews of people that deal with this on a day in, day out basis. And it's a hard life to live.
And I've been living it for over 35 years. I'm almost 40, folks. And I still live with this every single day.
The athletes that have gotten to the point besides CTE, I wonder if they had a mental illness along with the CTE that caused them.
But here's the thing. Not only mental illness, even combined with a physical condition like CTE, it can mess up your brain cognitive functions for life. It'll often make you forget who your family is, how to tie your shoes, how to drive a car, how to get dressed, and how to go to work.
I think I remember hearing a podcast. This is actually happening almost about the things you're talking about, and it was a couple of weeks ago. And literally they found out they had a brain injury, and they didn't know they had it.
I can give you another person who has a brain injury, and to this day, he's afraid of going to sleep because he gets seizures in his sleep. And his wife...
He's probably one of those that's afraid that one day he's going to go to sleep and not wake up.
Yeah, and that's worse his wife, because he's a father of 2 kids now.
Jeez.
So his kids need him now more than ever. And the thing is, he's around my age.
That's scary.
And he's a professional wrestler. He's been doing headbutts off the top ropes for 15 years.
Chris Benoit did a lot of that too.
And the fact that he is still alive to this day
is amazing unto itself.
Yes. Because he has an amazing woman in Brie Bella and 2 amazing kids in his corner.
But sadly, some people don't have that.
No. Chris Benoit has CTE, but he didn't realize just how severely damaged his brain was for doing that for years.
Mm-hmm.
His brain was so badly damaged, folks, that his brain resembles that of an 85-year-old Alzheimer's patient. And he was 43 years old.
They don't. And see, a lot of folks don't know they have it,
and they don't know what they're doing.
Diagnosed with it, or they're dead.
And they don't know what they're doing, folks. So here's my tip: instead of persecuting, and condemning them for having this illness, don't.
How about at least try to here's a better tip. Instead of just saying don't, try to understand where they are.
And see where they come from.
If you have to get down to their level so you can get a cognizant understanding of what somebody has to deal with, you do it.
There's a saying, you don't know how a person is unless you walk a mile in their shoes.
That's correct.
And for people to understand me, you're going to have to walk a real long mile in my shoes.
So if you had female players on your team or any other teams that deal with things like this that have reached out to people like you?
Well, basically, I'm the only female player that's coming out with this. Basically, I'm the only one so far.
You're a brave soul. I can tell you that. Because not a lot of people would even dare think about saying, oh, I have this, I have that. They'd rather in a hole that's 6 feet and bury themselves in it.
Unfortunately, I'm not one of those people, but here's another shocker. Back in 2004, when I was 23 years old, I almost committed suicide.
You were there almost. And we're not saying this in a figurative way either.
No.
Because usually when you get to that point, there's a mental break somewhere.
And folks, this ain't nothing to shake a stick at.
No.
Most of the times I'll be feeling all right. Other times I will cry for no reason, and other times I'll get mad for no reason. I can't shut it on and off like a switch. It's who I am. And there's nothing nobody can do to change it.
No.
I mean, I'm still me. I'm still me.
Of course you're you, but hey, keep in mind, you're you, but you have other things that a lot of folks don't have.
Yeah.
A lot of folks have different things that we don't have.
Another person who has mental illness, Kyle Turley.
Yes.
And it combined with a little bit of CTE, but he luckily is getting help with that. And he has a podcast going on too. And he's living in Brentwood right now.
And Frank Wycheck literally had to leave Nashville to get help for what he was dealing with.
Yes.
He literally had to leave the state of Tennessee just to find help.
Sure. It's not just football players who deal with mental illness. Other athletes and other people do too. DeMar DeRozan and Kevin Love are two other basketball stars who are dealing with mental illness because they have it themselves.
And both of them are playing with their respective professional teams. DeMar DeRozan is playing with the Spurs, and Kevin Love is apparently supposed to be coming back on Sunday when the Cavaliers host the Thunder.
Yep.
6 o'clock on Sunday night.
But like my broadcast colleague has said, there's those who have it and don't get the help they need.
Those who really have it, those who kind of have it,
and those who don't.
They may have it, and those that don't, but sometimes you wonder in their emotional state if they really do have it.
But here's the thing, folks. It's not just the United States where mental illness happens.
It's coasted around the world.
Yeah, right now, even combined with suicides, USA is number 2 on that list, with India at number 1 and South Korea at number 3. And there's a reason for that. Because in South Korea, nobody gives them the talk about it. So far
they don't have the apps like Talkspace or BetterHelp or any of those, or regular traditional therapy, where they can go to and say, hey, I need help. I need this.
Yeah.
Help me with that.
Yeah.
Or who would you suggest?
But since 2008 up until last year, 30 celebrity South Koreans. Some of them are singers and some of them are actors, and one professional Korean baseball player have all died from mental illness, one way or another. Some died by suicide, some died during an accident,
Mm-hmm.
and some died because they were being harassed and bullied online.
For no reason.
And I can tell you one thing.
That's another thing we need to bring up in here. This has, besides mental illness, bullying ain't right. Let's just call it what it is. Bullying sucks.
And it's got to stop.
There's no excuse for this polyamorous BS of bullying.
Because
no excuse for that.
From the last part of 2019, 3 singers from ages 25 to 28 had died within a month of each other because of this. And it's really got to stop. But the other reason why the second one died, it was because her ex-boyfriend had a certain tape that he was blackmailing her with. He was threatening to post it online as a form of revenge porn against her. Yeah, but karma came back on him in the worst way possible. Because last June,
maybe for her, it was like it's the Montezuma's revenge.
Yes, because he trying to severely ruin her reputation, caused irreversible trauma, and in the end, he's gotten charged with using the video as a revenge porn after she broke up with him because he was too controlling.
He was a jerk off.
Yeah.
Let's just call it what it is. He was a jerk. There's a few things I could say, but I'm not. I know it's after hours where there are just certain things that are in my brain when we talk about stories like these that I need to keep in check.
There's a lot of things that I want to say, but
because if I don't, this podcast, because the Federal Communications Commission and everybody else in America will have us shut down.
But here's the
thing. Quick, fast, and in a hurry.
But here's the thing. There's some things that we can talk about, but there's some things that we cannot say because for many people, this is a touchy subject that they didn't want to touch with a 10-foot pole.
Like, hey,
folks.
I'm one of those that does not wish to touch this subject because I've heard way too many podcasts. I've seen way too many IDs. I've seen way too many crime and investigations. I've seen, well, maybe not have seen, but I've heard way too many. Yeah, there's way too many of those going on. I've heard too much. I really have.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Bullying is a big no-no because it messes with them not only physically and mentally, it messes with them psychologically. Don't do that at all.
Well, I believe we can come off that topic a little bit, sort of.
Yeah.
And talk about a trade that actually happened. Like we all thought would happen.
Yes, sir.
And I think I called it on this podcast, or it might have been in the Nightmares Power Hour, I believe, in our Nightmares Insider edition of this 11-in-town palatial pod.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know if it was in this one or if it was the Saturday editions. That we do have to make an announcement on relatively soon.
Yeah.
And let you know that once the season starts, there will be some changes.
Yeah.
But only for the season.
Yeah. But we don't want to give away that just yet.
Or do you want to wait until we get before the week out before the season?
Let's keep them in suspense. Because
fair enough.
Yeah. Folks, we're going to keep you in suspense before the season starts.
Things that are right now what we like to refer to as company policy under wraps. But all we're going to say is the new features that will be coming to these beloved encounter pods well, especially the Nightmare Insiders edition,
Yep.
you will enjoy. So those will be coming. Let's see. We got March, April, about 3 months from tomorrow.
Yeah.
If my math is correct.
It probably would be. And on that note, since I was talking about mental illness, pretty soon yours truly is going to come out with a book about it.
Oh boy.
But let me tell you one thing though. I don't look at this as my curse. I look at this as my superpower.
Well, not only that, as Tyler Perry put it today, own your stuff.
And I've been owning this for over 30 years, folks. 30 years.
Basically the quote was like this: own your stuff, own your business, own your way. And if you don't know what that means,
look it up.
Watch the Tyler Perry YouTube. Go watch his acceptance speech for 2019.
Well, to get off this subject into something a little bit more funnier, it is a doozy. And folks, it's a doozy because the state of Texas, oh man, is letting him have it.
Is this going to be better with unlike the dude in the video that got whacked in the face and looked like a harpoon?
Yeah, they came up with memes with it on Twitter. It's a meme of Ted Cruz going with his luggage to the airport. They put it with every natural disaster. The Hindenburg, the Holocaust, the zombie apocalypse.
Oh, speaking of dumb. Speaking of dumb, we got to go to the sports world a little bit. And this has been a while back, but I didn't know this story actually existed.
Okay.
Until I listened to a beloved and talented morning show that went back a ways and pulled a story. You know how we all enjoy our beloved and talented sports rivalries? One team that we love and another team that we despise.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you like Major League Baseball, I don't know what year this was, but I'm just going to bring it to the present. Talk about Dumb and Dumber. Well, for one guy, it was more like death, taxes, and getting ran over by a 10,000-pound machine.
No.
Red Sox Yankees, whole new level of stupidity. An argument leaving a bar. And you know, the ever-popular accepting of liquid courage.
Oh, boy.
Leads to stupid.
Oh, boy.
Why, you ask? This 21-year-old lady gets in her nice, beloved, and talented, humongous weapon of death, a.k.a. car. One dude is standing right in the middle of the roadway. And, of course, his recognizant reaction was not very quick enough. The lady revs up her car. No, it gets better. She basically doesn't put on the brake.
Uh-oh, folks. Elephant in the room.
Let's that baby accelerate 200 feet. Runs over the dude.
Oh, Jesus.
Literally ran.
Oh, jeez.
Yes. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, oh my God. This poor man. How
could you? And I'm thinking to myself, lady, how dare you run over him? You monster.
And check this out. She got charged with second-degree murder. Vehicular homicide. Like, no. That's painful for me just to even tell this story.
That's even painful for me to visualize it. That's painful for me to visualize.
The poor dude was 21 with the whole life ahead of him.
And she ran him over.
Literally ran. Wait a minute. She was 21. He was like 20-something or 30-something. But either way, they both still had their whole life ahead of them. And then she threw it away over a stupid argument, and her quote was, "I thought they would get out of the way."
Damn.
How do you think they're going to get out of the way when you have this trailing hunk of steel that's rolling with land?
To something a little bit even funnier, and believe, and here's
Seriously, this hurts me more than it hurts you.
to something even a bit more funnier. We're going to take it to the WWE side of things. If most of you watch WWE Storytime, they recount the antics from where they were up until now. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson recall the time they went to a Gold's Gym in Venice Beach in a rental car.
I know where this story is
going. Where AJ Styles, Gallows was in the trunk until he went boom, hit his head. AJ Styles cackling like an old Southern gentleman.
He went, look, he went like the dude with the shotgun. He went pow, 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 pow. Then
the very stupid thing he did was kick the rental car, forgetting it was stronger than he was, and it boom, knocked him down. Anderson was like, the score is the car 2, Gallows 0.
Car 2, nerds nothing. And in the immortal words,
then he said to himself,
"You kind of deserve that."
I cannot laugh at his face. I tried not to laugh. He bumped his head on the airplane. He bumped his head on the tree, and the squirrel was laughing at him. And if he went into space, he bumped his head on the telescope, and the alien would laugh at him.
Actually, Josh, you can't laugh at him being stupid.
Yeah,
because
but he went to
freaking break like an idiot.
But here's the time they went to Japan. He did forget the doors of the size of the door was significantly smaller than the doors here in the U.S. He was wearing black and white face paint. His tall looked at said, "Oh, maybe I'll just go through the door." Next thing Anderson hears was, oh! He was cussing. He asked what was going on. He said, "Oh, never mind. You got black and white face paint on the door. Never mind. I see your black and white face paint on the door. Jam, you read into the door again, didn't you?"
You know what? If you really want to go watch anguish and screaming and blood and gore, go on YouTube and find death matches. If you know what I'm talking about,
I believe I do.
Mick Foley, Terry Funk,
yeah,
and the nerds that basically took hardcore to its limit and beyond.
Yeah.
The Tongan death match in Japan, where literally anything and everything went. Now, the problem was, the commentary was not in English.
It was in Japanese.
I don't know what it was, but it sounded more like gibberish.
And like I said, folks, WWE superstars are people too. They're just doing funny things the funniest ways possible, including pranking Jonathan Coachman with the police. They pranked him with the police. They pulled a prank on him while he was making bets on which person that one person was going to get fired. This person was so mad that Vince was in on it. He let the cops in on it. We're going to punk his ass. The cops go, "Are you coach?" He said, "Yeah, I'm coach." "You doing some running illegal gambling operations?" Now, Vince McMahon, Devon Dudley, Mark Henry, Sabu, Bubba Ray.
Hold on,
they were laughing right now. And Farouk, they were laughing. Devon had to come and say, "Hey, what's going on, coach? What did you do?"
Forget the police prank. How about the Dudley boys getting the table, Edge and Christian and Matt and Jeff bringing in some tables and ladders?
Yeah, they put the TLC in TLC, folks. Those guys are insane. There was even one time that Bubba was riding in the car with Shane O'Mac. Tommy Jr. had his barbed wire board and was propped up against it, falling asleep 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Shane prank calls his father at that length of time. And passes the phone to Bubba Ray.
Ungodly hour, son.
Yeah, and then he gave the phone back to Shane. Shane thought it'd be a better idea to get the phone to Spike Dudley. Spike Dudley, like the dummy that he was, didn't know it was 3 o'clock in the morning, thinking that Vince McMahon wasn't on the phone. Started cursing a blue streak a mile away. And Bubba Ray, and Shane were looking at him and dismally like, what the heck did we just do?
He's probably thinking, when I get my hands on that blankety blank, you're waking me up at an ungodly hour.
No, Vince was up. Vince was up when Shane called his phone. He thinks that Bubba was putting Shane to it. Bubba was like, Vince, I think that's the other way around. He said, ha, 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 ha. Whatever. Keep your eye on my son and don't do anything stupid. The stupid thing that Spike asked for was a bag of weed.
Oh, God.
That's what Spike was asking for, a bag of weed from Vince McMahon.
Dude, don't ask the boss for Bob.
Yeah, but the thing is, Vince took it as a joke, and the next thing you know, Spike was never seen again.
Yeah, because he probably got transported to Siberia, never to be seen again, or the coldest part of the country,
which is now Texas.
Well, let's give the folks a preview of what we're doing tomorrow.
Tomorrow we're gonna have two special guests.
Oh,
one of them is gonna be an out of town guest, Mr. Alex Cox, who is an owner of a independent women's football team, who had hit me up weeks ago. And we're going to talk with Jennifer Clifton at the 6 o'clock hour.
So,
yeah.
We're starting at what time tomorrow?
We're going to be starting at 5. We'll start at 5:45. And since I don't have to go to work tomorrow, since the roads near my house are still not cleared up.
Well, it looks like tomorrow, if everything goes right, we'll finally be in the 40s. Sort of.
I haven't been to work at all.
I am a tough content.
I haven't been anywhere at all.
From Mortal Kombat?
Man, the front of the street of my house is covered with ice and snow.
It is literally a
I've seen kids trying to skate on that. I seen one of them nearly fell and bust their ass.
And I hope so. I hope somebody's recording it so it can laugh at them.
These were kids outside. They were that dumb.
And tack that on top of the dude getting whacked and looking like a harpoon. With a twisted tea right in his face.
And like I said, here's a little bit more, folks. We can leave you with some dumb stuff off the political side, folks. If you ever see Lauren Boebert, please, somebody please re-educate her on the Constitution, that it can be amended.
By the way, please, for the love of God, don't dig up Rush Limbaugh either, because we don't need that extra clownage.
That man is dead.
And by the way, R.I.P. to Rush, by the way, even though I never listened to the show.
Yeah. Also, someone needs to educate Donald Trump Jr. that yes, Greg Abbott is the governor, and yes, he is a Republican. He thought that the state of Texas was run by a Democrat. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, the last Democrat that ran in Texas was, in fact, the late Governor Ann Richards herself. She was the only female governor the state of Texas had.
And if the good old boy network has its way, they're probably hoping it will be the last. As long as...
Oh, no. They made fun of Donald Jr. left and right.
Oh,
they don't rank this man through the carpet because he gave Ted Cruz a new name.
No. We don't rank folks over roads. We rank folks over coals. Okay.
Forget ranking them over the coals. They threw this man in the incinerator and pressed the button and watch it go poof.
No. Forget the incinerator. Talk about a humongous inferno.
Donald Trump Jr. actually basically put his own foot in his mouth for saying that. And because of that, everybody on the Twitterverse is making fun of him nonstop with memes. And somebody from the Libertarian Party of Texas said, them dad blasted dumb ass lazy Democrats. Yeah, we're gonna get to work on that.
Now I do wonder. So how are we gonna split these segments up with these guests? Like how many minutes?
Right now he owns a team out of Des Moines.
I'm wondering if our pal Schmitty is going to try to work on getting him on board.
Yeah, if Sean gets himself out of the hospital again.
I saw on Facebook that he is back home.
Yeah, after what he got lanced. Yeah, I know about that. And I told him I felt the same because I went through it a couple of times before.
Now, I did leave Sean a couple of teams to go chase after in the NWF.
Yeah, and one of them he sent me was out of Jackson.
I was thinking for him like the Tennessee Diamondbacks and the Tri-City Thunder. Those are the two I'm hoping he can go get.
Yeah, but he's trying to get the ones that's closest to us, since Memphis is the only one closest to us, 2 hours away.
Well, the Diamondbacks are Clarksville's pretty close too. Robertson County's pretty close too.
Clarksville's an hour and a half from here, and I should know. My sister lives there.
Now that would be a nice little hop, skip, and a stone's throw jump.
Yeah,
if we can get that, and have them on our side of the division.
Yeah.
I don't think Sean's going to be able to get the merge. I don't think. I just don't see it.
I don't even think so either. Because I told Clifton that I think I know what happened to her money. She sent in her $500 to them.
Oh.
Yeah, that's $500 she's probably not going to get back.
Nope. Because once they get it, they don't. A lot of these teams do not refund.
No,
they don't.
They really, really don't.
Which sucks for the players that are, and it sucks that players have to go through that.
Yeah, but here's a little more lighter side of football things. Here's one of the things you don't do when you win a championship. Don't throw it like a football. Tom Brady threw the Lombardi trophy and it almost went in the damn ocean.
Well, hey, he's won 7 of them. He knows what it looks
like. Yep. He was on a parade. He was on a float in the water, and he threw the trophy.
Yeah, you only get one of those made a year.
Yeah, but apparently the granddaughter of the trophy maker wants an apology.
Yeah, he kind of the trophy maker who's busting his tail to make the darn thing kind of maybe deserves it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not gonna spend a whole gob of money out of his own pocket from his own business coffers to, get the material for the trophies, make the trophy, put whatever Super Bowl number it is, and whatever the year is for the Super Bowl, only to have it chucked and dumped like a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
Because that takes time.
Yeah, but apparently the judge sided with Tom Brady that he doesn't own the granddaughter of the trophy maker anything.
Oh, no. He owes her something because that takes time.
But the thing is,
slap it together and get it from like one of those awards.
But here's the thing: Tom Brady has a Triple P loan. That he has to pay back, which is $3.6 million.
So, okay, what is the roster looking like now as of this point?
Yeah, at this point, we are up to 16 and trying to get more. And if things go well, we'll probably have 25 by March and have our first meeting around spring break. That would be the only time we'd be able to get out of the house once in a while. But we still got to practice social distancing precautions. Not if we can help it.
That one's obvious. So the
thing is, Williamson County is still under a mask mandate for at least 100 days.
Well, I don't know what. I mean, it feels like we've been more than 100 days. It feels like it's been 500.
No, it's five. It's 100 days of Biden's presidency.
Oh. Well, I don't even know what day we're on that now, because after the inauguration, I just... It's
already month 1. That's 30 days already.
And it feels like
80.
We're trying to get back on track a little bit.
Yep.
I hope we keep it up. Because the more we keep it up, we can get back doing what we enjoy doing.
Yep.
Without being a bunch of idiots.
Not at all. And folks, now here, like I told my colleague about 2 weeks ago, it turns out that Korean women do love our football players, our male football players. They love them.
So I've heard from the catalog of what in the ABC Wide World of St. Louis Sports is happening here. From the catalog of what in the ABC Wide World of St. Louis Sports is happening up in here.
Apparently, Korean women have heard of our football teams. They've even heard of the LFL, as it were. And the reason they like the men is because of their body type. And on that list is good old King Henry himself.
Say Henry, say Henry. Now, I do have one question. Since we were on roster, so from what you're coach-wise.
Coach what?
So it looks like
you
may
have a coach. Yes, I will. And I asked one of the main coaches that everybody likes to actually be the head coach, because our last head coach is one person that we can agree that he is not being a professional. So he actually did me a favor.
Disgraced or innocent here or guilty here.
He actually did me a favor by quitting. Because it'll save me a reason to demote or fire his ass.
Yep.
It was a good reason why that was a good thing he quit. Because if he wasn't still in there, I would demote his ass so fast, it would not be funny.
So, where does this person come from?
Actually, this person, he is my cousin. Because it turns out that his grandmother is my cousin's grandmother. No, my cousin's second cousin.
So
and he is a coach of Freedom Middle School boys football team.
So
the JV team, and believe it or not, he can coach the hell out of these kids. The last time I saw him coaching one of his games, it was not pretty. It was not pretty. They lost to a team from Spring Station 43-0.
Ew.
And their running back looks like somebody who should be in high school.
Wow.
This dude was 6 feet tall and 13 years old. He should be in high school.
Well, unfortunately, you can't be in high school until he's 14. Or whatever.
Well, he's actually 15. He is in high school. This kid was 13 back then. I saw one of their games up close. It was embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and one of my players at that time, we saw that game and we just had to leave. I said, that was embarrassing. And we went straight to practice, and we had to tell them, yeah, they got embarrassed.
Yeah, you got your tail kicked, son.
Getting his tail kicked, getting it kicked would not be what I would use. I mean, this team from Spring Station ran right over them, stand above them, pulled their pants down, and crapped right all over them.
No. They didn't just stand over them. They ran through them, went into their chest cavity, ripped their heart out of their chest, showed it to them while it was bleeding and beating at the same time, and made them like it while they were dying and taking their last breaths.
And believe
that's how embarrassing this tail kicking was.
Nah, if you want to see embarrassment, watch the Pro Bowl. Now that's an embarrassment.
Yeah, like the stupid NFL.
But it's entertaining at the same time.
Not really.
Yeah, it was. If you see how many lateral passes that you can do in one quarter. But I think the record still is 15 from the 2013 Pro Bowl.
Now, okay. Now, he can coach. So, you know he can coach.
Yes, I do. And I'm also going to bring into my coaching staff one of the greatest coaches that I know of. He was the father of the late Fred Lane Jr. It's Fred Lane Sr.
He must have some serious clout action.
He does have some serious clout. He was actually a player from Lane College.
Lane College up in Jackson.
Yes. He was also a player with another former head coach that I know of. But that man is coaching at Farragut. So he's not leaving from there no time soon.
Farragut High School?
Yeah. He was coaching down there. And I talked to both his daughters.
Now, okay. So it looks like Clifton's back in the family again. It looks like, hopefully.
Yeah.
Or how will that work due to the fact that if you have to go out to find 2 or 3 middle linebackers just to make sure you have enough depth there?
Yeah. Because as it is, I'm already pulling 2 positions myself as a center and a defensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm arguably one of the quickest pass rushers despite weighing 340 pounds.
Off the hop.
Off the hop.
Quick twitch.
Yep. Shoot.
So
But yeah.
Or will that be up to the coach to determine who's in the lineup?
So basically, the way it is for me.
Or we kind of have an idea, at least for now, of who's in, since you only have 16.
Yeah, you're gonna have an idea of who's in. Besides me and Clifton, I'm bringing back 2 women that I had recruited myself, a mother and daughter team. My tight end, Samantha Shepard, and my fullback is her daughter, Holly.
So who does most of the blocking?
Well, that'll be Holly. She's the fullback.
If you're not running the out formation, she's going to be the tail.
Yeah.
And Mom's going to be the blocking back as a tight end on the wing.
Yeah. And I actually seen how well they both did firsthand. They are actually pretty good.
Looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah. And since 9 times out of 10, I have no chance of getting Victoria Duncan back because she's already in a 3-year contract with the Music City Misfits. But she had gotten married about a couple of years ago, and she's on maternity leave because she just recently had a baby.
Ew. So how many more players are you going to try to bring back here?
Well, I almost had my main wide receiver back, but she's all the way in Alabama now, so that's going to be a no.
She's probably going to play on the Alabama Fire, most likely.
If her wife doesn't mind.
That's the key word.
I almost had convinced Grace Learhoff to play for us. And she lives in Clarksville.
Ew.
Grace Learhoff was from the Arizona team that got disbanded out of the WFA years ago.
I thought I saw a few players that were playing for the Diamondbacks. A couple of them, I thought.
Not the Tennessee Diamondbacks. This is from Arizona, the women's football team from Arizona.
So I know the Diamondback. I know that when I looked at their Facebook page, they were definitely looking for more players.
Yeah, apparently the football team in Arizona got disbanded for some reason. Grace never said why.
So is there going to be a chance of an exhibition game, or is it just going to be straight season with no exhibition play at all?
Well, that depends, but mainly because knowing Derby City and Music City, they're doing exhibition games right now with they're using the Tri-City Thunder and the other teams as well, because some of the teams have to make up for the depth procession for the teams that jumped ship to the WNFC. One of them was the Alabama Fire.
Mm-hmm.
The other one were the Carolina Queens.
Yep.
And I had looked it up and I saw a team, the South Florida Pumas.
The South Florida Pumas. Just the name itself.
Yeah.
The South Florida Pumas.
Well, at least it's better than the New Orleans Hippies.
Yeah, by a ton. Like, dude, if you have to be called the Hippies, the only thing I should be seeing is a whole team wearing a whole.
Their uniforms tie dye.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
I refuse. I refuse. Dear Jesus. To play any team that has to play in tie-dye. Especially in stupid tie-dye t-shirts where the broadcast team can't see your numbers.
It's the uniform that is completely tie-dye.
I can understand lime green and highlighter yellow. But tie-dye with pink, purple, and whatever that god-awful orange is,
Mm-hmm.
I think, and that rainbow flag colored / whatever the heck that's supposed to be.
Yep.
Never. They can do better than that. I know they can do better than that.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not. Do we still have to play that team this year?
We probably have to.
Crap. We still got to work on vehicle transportation so everybody can get on the vehicle. And hopefully nobody gets left behind.
Yeah.
Like last time when I was
Yeah. Let's hope Michelle and Curtis. Let's hope Michelle and Curtis are on the same page.
What's that?
Because Sean gave them the deadline.
And remember, you and I talked about I talked to Sean, I talked to you, because he asked me, and I didn't think he was even going to ask me.
Yep. I told him we should give them the deadline. They should have 1 week to respond. Otherwise, we're just going to cut them loose.
I mean, look, at some, like I said, remember what I told you in the Facebook message?
Yeah.
Because we had talked late Saturday night.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to do our Saturday podcast.
Yeah, we missed doing that.
I thought we were going to do it after the meeting.
Yeah, but the meeting, it took so long. It was 4 hours. The meeting ended up being 4 hours long. We took a 20-minute meeting and made it a 4-hour meeting.
Well, because we were all talking about like different stuff and different ideas.
Yes, we were.
Teams and things.
And and before that, Sean was talking about how his neighbor don't blow up the undersiding of his house. This neighbor ripped out the undersiding of his trailer. Now his trailer ain't got no heat and no water.
Really, bro?
His neighbor, he said it, his neighbor was a crackhead. He don't blow up underneath his own house. He don't blow up the pipes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Crackheads Anonymous.
Literally.
Oh, stupid.
Yeah, and he filmed it, man, and posted it on Facebook. That man was digging a hole right underneath his own trailer. He don't ripped out the awning from underneath the trailer and used it to dig a hole.
Like a freaking pack rat?
Like an idiot, yes.
Oh, God, oh my God. I'm like, hey, you, get out of there.
So I'm going to see that our next meeting is going to be pushed back. Because Sean is trying to look for another house to live into.
I know Sean. I mean, what was it? Sean, his lovely bride, and
Max. Yeah.
And we were all talking up in there because I asked him, when our next little get together is on Zoom.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be next Saturday.
Yeah, the 27th. And he agreed. And this week's almost over, so time just ran out for Curtis and Michelle.
Well, they kind of need. I'm hoping they made their choice by today.
Yeah.
Because the deadline is tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if they don't make it this year, they're gonna have to sit out until next year. It's that simple.
Yeah. For me,
it's this simple. It's the principle of it.
Yeah.
Owners, myself, all you owners, before you allowed me to join this little fan club / league. Well, I was already in the league with you as your broadcaster with my spotter when we get going.
Yeah.
If we get going. But allow me to just sit on the meeting and talk about ideas.
Yeah.
It's not fair that you, Max, Sean,
and yourself,
and Sean's wife.
Yeah. Yeah, she was sick though. She was sick though, but we heard her.
No, what I'm saying is all of us can adjust our schedules to make sure that we all are all there to talk about ideas, think of ideas. And
being on Zoom on time.
And on how this league should work. But one person's a holdout. That's not fair to any of you people.
No.
As the owners and proprietors of these teams that are trying to get their stuff together.
One of the main rules I do like is the no team fee.
I love that fact.
That's one thing I can get behind.
Big time. Why should a team have to pay
to play
to be in a league? It ain't right.
Nah, because with the WFA, they had two things to do. There's the team fee, and then there's the player's fee. The team fee is what to get the team registered with.
For me, there should be no fee for players or teams.
Yeah, and the player fee is to actually register that said player on the roster.
So with it not being a fee, what does that mean for equipment?
It will make it a lot easier. The only thing we'll be able to pay for it will be just the uniforms for now.
The what?
The uniforms, because that's the only thing we can raise the money for. And luckily enough, if I talk to my former co-owner and have her hand me the $1,500 that she still has, I can use that and get the uniforms. Because there'll be $32 if we go with Sean's guy.
And then, hopefully, there'll be enough left for paying the officials, for the field, and over the broadcast team, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, because if it ain't, I have to come up with a way to pay it out of my own pocket. Because that's it. Social Security don't rip me a new one.
Yeah.
They ripped me a new one and then demanded I pay them back $10,605.
Dang. Shot.
I've been having mental illness for a while. And then all of a sudden, they said that I'm physically able or physically and mentally able to work. No, I'm not physically and ably better. I'm physically and mentally worse. Due to the fact they had me see a doctor that I never saw before on a day that I can't get transportation.
Oh, great.
Because they don't run on a Saturday.
And plus, this day you have to go to work.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Sure.
And I can already see the uncomfortable looks there already.
But here's the thing: the guys who did that, those are Trump's guys. Hell, half of them already resigned already.
Well, most of them were resigning before the presidency was up. They were running like a bunch of scared rats on a sinking ship.
And the other two got fired.
Yep.
True. We can put Donald Jr. in with this group of sad sacks, forgetting that the Texas governor is a Republican.
And of course, Lindsey Graham from South Carolina.
And we can also put Ted Cruz, or as Donald Jr. calls him, Cancun Cruz. No!
No, not just Ted Cruz.
No, Cancun Cruz.
That falls under the category of stupidity of the Tasmanian devil.
Yeah. Somebody actually.
Even Taz the cartoon has more common sense than that.
Yeah. Apparently when Donald Trump Jr. gave Ted Cruz that nickname, somebody said along the lines, the Caribbean Cruise Line changes their name to the Caribbean Boat Ride to further distance themselves with association with Ted Cruz.
Now, okay. What about those other folks that got stuck out at sea? Did they finally get home?
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, but here's why they really making fun of him. Because when he left to go to Cancun, he left his dog at the house. He left his dog Snowflake in a cold, freezing, powerless house. The day he left was the day later that the power came back on.
And the dog's like, cool, I got that for myself. Yay! And the dog got, even though the dog's name is Snowflake, the dog's probably thinking, finally, I don't deal with that dimwit for a week.
No, but he came back the very next day. And the dog looks at him. You left without me? I left a surprise in your bed. Under your pillow. It's going to be very stinky when you lay your head down.
Yeah. Dogs do have a way of letting you know how they feel.
That dog was mad.
Yeah.
You got your security guard taking care of your dog while you're going to Cancun?
Come on, dude. Really?
You first blamed it on your daughter saying they wanted him to go.
That's cheesy.
Yeah, which is why he's a meme in everything from the Holocaust to the zombie apocalypse.
Okay, so if the hippies did not respond, let's say they did not, but we don't know that from Sean yet, so we have no idea on that.
We cut them loose.
And that means we're down to what? 4 teams here or 3?
3, because New Orleans was the 4th team.
Oh, God, that means we're going to have to be... Oh, sheesh.
Yeah.
I already hate these road trips. 2 teams like 10 times.
It's super exhausting.
No thanks.
Mm-mm.
Sean, we need to get some more teams up in here, dude. We need to start getting this thing balanced out up in here.
Yeah, but here's the thing. He can't bounce nowhere. Because that messile thing was on his butt. Yeah, and when he went to the... He posted when he went to the bathroom, that's like a pot and blood ran down his leg.
I didn't need to know that.
I didn't need to Then why did you post that on there, man?
Like, oh, shut up. That's like going way overboard, yo. Like, shut it already.
Folks, like we said on this podcast, if you ever do something funny and it's on YouTube, we're gonna call you out on it. I'm gonna call out a high school football player who messed up his leg. He had knee surgery, and he was so high on anesthesia that he started to act a T-tone mess.
Like the I'm so high, totally in the sky.
Yeah. And even if they put even middle school kids,
you know what?
Middle school kids who play sports, they don't need to be on anesthesia or laughing gas because they will say the things that should have never came out of their mouths.
There's a podcast I'm currently listening to called 6 Feet Under. The Fisher family goes to 6 Feet Under Companion podcast. They're on episode 9. And they're talking about this girl who basically took one of those after the dude basically bought a whole bunch of pills, white pills at that.
Oh boy.
And the broad took one of those pills and she literally went about as high as a kite.
Oh no. And on this episode of Idiots Do the Stupidest Things, that's about as stupid as you get.
So, she literally hugged a tree, picked flowers out of the woods, put them in her hair, and looked.
I got one better. Like I said, there was a middle school kid who was playing baseball. He broke his arm. They gave him so much laughing gas. He started talking like he was black, talking about camels in Dubai and strippers and stuff. It's game, I'm gonna get that camel, man.
Oh god!
But the gold trophy goes to the 8-year-old boy with the orange cast on his arm. That was so laid back.
Besides picking the flowers and putting them in her hair, he started singing dude, everything is wonderful. No,
everything's not wonderful. You messed up, Tux.
Everything's wonderful unless you're spaced out like a total.
Well, this 7-year-old kid was spaced out. He didn't realize he had an orange cast on his arm. He started talking like it was like, "Hey man, what's up? Why am I dizzy? Why do I feel like I'm dizzy? On this side, now that side.
Bro,
what is this? What is this big fucking orange thing on my arm, man?"
Like, dude, if you don't get off me, I'm going to smack the ever living crap out of you.
Now, this kid right here, he's so cool with it. He actually openly admitted to letting one rip.
I hope this kid, when he finally got off the anesthetics, I hope and pray he was able to mellow himself out. Literally.
Yeah, but it's posted on Facebook of things a kid should not say.
Ecstasy trip off those white pills.
Nah. Now, this is what happens when you put kids on anesthesia. They say things they shouldn't say. Apparently, there's a girl who's a med student. She's not acting, but she was about to be a med student. This girl talking about her butthole being on fire. They should keep on doo-dooing and everything. Cussing every day. Her mama's there. This girl's mama said, "Misha, shut up. Shut up. I'm sorry. Y'all, I'm sorry. I am pre-med student. I have to take them. I have to make it." Then her fist in black power said, "Black excellence." The nurse, her mother, and her sister were all in their room, and they were trying hard not to laugh at her because she was so damn spaced out.
Oh.
She went from talking about her butthole being on fire to talking about pickled eggs.
That's almost about as weird as the poor lady when she was in in the ER room and a Monsters Inside Me episode where the poor lady was speaking jib.
Oh,
she
boy.
had no idea what she was talking about.
No.
And they found out she had a teratoma growing on her ovary.
Oh boy.
No, not lying.
Man, I know worse things. You can actually, folks. There's a lot of worse things you could actually go to the ER for. That's one of them. Another one is you were like so horny. You would rather stick yourself into anything. Well, apparently this dude did. He stuck himself in the campus, so he went to the ER because he couldn't get it off. He wound up with priapism.
Okay. I think I know where this is going.
He rounded up with priapism, and a doctor, the firefighter, and the maintenance man all fainted.
Okay, I think on that note, I think we can wrap this podcast. Okay.
I got one more.
Oh God.
I got one more. And this was a heck of a doozy. She wasn't on anesthesia or anything. She was coherent. She just had a butterfly larvae in her ear. And it was on her wedding day.
Okay, like, here's a thought. How about never plan another freaking wedding outside?
Yeah, but this was when they were at their bachelor and bachelorette parties before the wedding. Somehow she came close to a butterfly. She had a butterfly larva in her ear.
A butterfly larva. Oh my.
Oops. But then again, at least you're not the person who ate an orange that's full of insulin.
And by the way, thank you Pluto TV for Man vs. Food. Thank you.
No, this wasn't on Man vs. Food. This was on Untold Stories of the ER. Somebody ate an orange full of insulin. They were used to inject insulin with. Somebody ate that orange.
Something tells me with new channels being added, it will have its own channel.
It was on the Discovery Channel. Discovery Health.
Yes.
Folks, for whatever reason, please, for all that sanctified and holy, don't do stupid stuff that's going to get you sent to the ER. Because,
all right, folks.
Because if you do, and I'm watching on TV, and I find out about it, oh, Nelly, you are never going to live it down for the next.
Look, not only that, they'll see it on video 15, 20 years from now when they get married and have kids. Like, what the heck was Dad or Mom doing? Or I got Untold Stories at the ER.
Yeah, and the evil partner, sex sent him to the ER.
Oh God, that was a stupid spinoff too.
And actually, most of it is true. All of it is true.
Let's close this one out.
Please, we're going to close this one out while we still have it intact, folks. So like we said before, a person with a mental illness, just because a person has a mental illness doesn't mean that you should condemn them.
Or judge them. Because, and matter of fact, let's go one step further. Because it's in the Bible. You're not supposed to judge anybody. It's in the Bible.
Yes, it is.
How about read it sometime, folks?
And believe it or not, anxiety is under it. As one of the things that is considered like mental illness, anxiety. It's in the Bible.
Anxiety, mental illness, depression, yes. So,
it's in the Bible. Read it, folks. Trust and believe.
It's basically called worry.
And just because one person has mental illness, it doesn't mean that, like I said before, you should not condemn them. To get to know that person, you got to walk at least a mile in their shoes.
Holier than thou, so shut it.
You got to walk a mile in their shoes to know what they feel, to know what they go through on a day-to-day basis.
As an alternative rock song says, then you might know what it's like.
And yeah.
Then you really might know what it's like.
Yeah, and apparently nobody helped Chester Bennington with this one because he had it and he died. Nobody helped him. Nobody understood what he was going through, what was going on through his head.
Why do you think that song "Waiting for the Light That Never Comes" came out?
Yeah, right around the time he died. And take it from me, folks. And take it from me. I've been going through this.
I can find that song on YouTube right now and bust it right now.
Yeah, take it from me. I've been going through this for over 30 years. And it's not never stopping me from letting do what I have to do. I had learned to embrace it and own it. And I do own it myself.
You had to basically learn how to own your stuff.
Yeah. I have owned it. But there is a saying. And there is a life after diagnosis. It's called you can basically live a normal life despite having this. And that's what I'm doing. I'm living a normal life despite having a mental illness. Because I was not going to let it control my life, control my destiny, control my fate.
But the thing is, a lot of people don't really get that option.
So here's the thing. You listen to Logic's song. Listen to Logic's song. There is a phrase in there. It says, I want you to be alive so you don't have to die today. Listen to that song through its entirety, and you'll get the message of that. The song is basically the phone number of the suicide hotline. If you listen to it, you'll get the gist of what that song is talking about. Because listen to that song, it's still helping me, and I'm still going. I have to keep going.
You have no choice.
Nope.
You have a choice, but that other choice is not a good one.
That's an option that nobody needs to go. Okay?
All right. I think we've gone what, an hour?
Yeah, an hour and 12 minutes.
I think we've got a perfect stopping place with a few laughs in between.
Yes. So
and that's the idea of the Friday show.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely talk about Carson Wentz going back to be reunited with Frank Reich. As the trade that I thought would happen has happened.
Yep.
And it was official on Wednesday.
Yep.
And it was official.
But here's the thing, folks. This is going to be on a personal for me because this is dedicated to the late great Vincent Jackson.
Oh yeah.
Who died on Monday.
Yeah, he did on President's Day. And look, the thing is, I saw the story and I'm like, what the
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I looked it up on Wednesday. He was at the Homewood Suites in Brandon, Florida.
And then all of a sudden, I stopped and I'm thinking to myself, that ain't right?
It was.
That ain't who I think it is, right?
It was Vincent Jackson.
And then I look and I'm like, oh my God, it is.
But the sheriff of Hillsborough County said that they weren't going to say anything until they get the toxicology report. Mm-hmm. Their autopsy is that he had died. They think that alcohol may play a factor into it, but his family said he might suffer from CTE.
See what comes out about it officially.
Yeah, they were supposed to have that report Wednesday, and they ain't nothing posted about it yet. Vincent Jackson was only 38 years old, and he retired in 2016.
So, folks, what are we trying to say here? Mental illness, anxiety, depression, it has no age. It has no expiration date. This stuff is real, folks. this.
It will follow you.
This is no BS.
And it can follow you until the end of time.
No, it ain't no joke.
It can follow you to the end of time because it has no date of death. It's still gonna follow you even if you do something stupid and take you beyond the grave. Because you're not only just hurting yourself, you're hurting the people who are caring about you, who wants you to get better, who wants to help you, who wants to support you.
Who wants to be in your corner.
So
now, as we close this podcast out, let's remember, folks, be good to one another, no matter if you have or do not have anything mentally wrong with you.
because
we all are in the same boat, some way, shape, or form.
and we're gonna also leave you with this.
Guarantee.
And we're just gonna leave you with this. If it's something funny that the athlete had did that you think it's worthy of us talking about, we will. But it has to be in good taste.
Please.
So I don't want to see. Here's one thing I don't want to see. We don't want to talk about the guy who was running strictly in a one-piece bathing suit. That looks like it should have been cut a long time ago, like in the middle of the court.
Like a total jerk off.
Yep.
Even though the funny part about that is when the police actually tackled him like a nerd.
Mm-hmm. We don't want to see hateful things that people said to other people
ladies
because
and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you enjoy more humor,
if you do something hateful to somebody who didn't deserve it, I'll come across it.
we'll talk about it.
Yeah, but it ain't gonna be pretty because you're gonna see the other side of me that you don't want to see.
Made to be look like a freaking harpoon.
Because right now,
it's still funny.
Yeah, because basically right now, there's a lot of things going on inside my head right now. Like Randy Orton's theme music is, I hear voices in my head. They're coming for you.
Okay, we better close the podcast out before something crazy happens.
Okay, and until next time, folks.
Hold on, preview first.
All right, Saturday.
Tomorrow, before we close.
Tomorrow at 5:45 p.m. is the
Standard Time.
Yes, is our Facebook Live edition of Green Out of Power Nightmares Insiders
edition.
That's 5:45 p.m. on Facebook Live.
And on this beloved and talented podcast feed. So you ain't got to do nothing. You stay where you're at.
Yeah. And like I said, it is. You can listen to it. It is free. But if you want to donate it, you can.
Go to patreon.com.
Yep.
And click on
my page. Look for my name, Jocelyn Fisher, and you can donate.
From there.
Yeah.
More things to follow.
Yeah. And many other goodies that we'll post on YouTube.
Later on.
Yes. So, like we said before,
we have a couple of announcements we have to make in a little bit.
Yeah. So, therefore, we also say with this, we're still in the midst of COVID-19. There's no room to be acting stupid. Just keep doing what we have to do, and we'll eliminate this thing together. Keep wearing your mask. Keep washing your hands. Keep practicing social distancing. Do it all. Do it all. And follow the government guidelines and rules, folks. They're there for your safety and protection.
Do the 3 W's. Wear, wash,
Wear your mask. Wash your hands. And practice social distancing by staying 6 feet away. Because
we're all in this together.
And we don't need nobody to die.
We already we already have enough of those. Time to end that string now, not later.
Yeah. And we all know whose fault that was. But we're not bringing his name up until it's been under too long, so we have to go.
Are we going to be doing well, probably not on the road trips. We'll be doing the Beloved and Talented this pod on the road. There's no way. I don't think. Because we're not going to
if this location's got Wi-Fi, we can probably make it happen.
Oh Jesus.
We could probably make it happen. If not, I will have to bring my camcorder and then upload it.
Well, hopefully we have to travel on the road.
Yeah.
That we'll at least figure out. Because if we have a game day, it ain't going to be long like these normally will be.
Mm-mm.
They can't be.
No. Because the reason why is we did agree to 12 minutes. Because 15 minutes will be exhausting for everybody.
Well, yeah.
12 minutes each quarter, in, out, bam, boom, done.
Yep, done in about 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah.
At worst, 2:45. And then we can all go back home.
Yeah.
Or is it going to get to the point of where, so what are we looking at on road trips? Just straight down and back, or how's that going to work?
Sorry. Looking like on a trip, if we have a road game, chances are we'll have to leave early. Like 1 to 2 days early.
Oh, great.
So, looking at the travel date, the first road game's on a Saturday. We're going to have to leave either Thursday or Friday morning. Because if we leave,
probably be we need to get all that squared away too, because I need to kind of get an idea so I know, where we're all going to meet, where I'm going to have an Uber or Lyft drop me off at.
Yeah.
And if I have to pack anything besides my broadcast equipment and notebook.
Yeah. And like they say, the visiting team is responsible for their own accommodations. So if we're going to be staying in a hotel, we have to have enough money to at least stay 1 to 2 days before we go home.
Yeah, and hopefully everybody has their own freaking room.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And I have to hire another equipment manager.
What, you lost another equipment manager?
No. My daughter's going to be the main one, but I'm going to need another one to fill in for my daughter. Because mostly in June, she'll be with her uncle in Atlanta.
In the ATL, yo.
Yeah, her uncle is her late dad's brother.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can get all that squared away and let me know what we're doing so I can...
Yeah, and she also had made a demand to have the 18th of July off.
Huh?
Yeah, the 19th is her 18th birthday.
Well, I think we're playing on the 17th, so that...
Yeah, that'll be on a Saturday.
Yeah, the 17th is a Saturday.
Yeah, and the 19th is on a Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's on the week of the very last game.
Yep.
Before the championship.
Hopefully we'll have a chance to play in the playoffs, hopefully, that week.
Yep.
Because I'm thinking that's what's going to happen. I just have a feeling that there's going to be a 1-game playoff for the 2v3 game, and the 1 seed gets an automatic berth to the championship game.
Yeah.
I just have a feeling that's what's going to happen.
Yep.
That's what I hope happens, but
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yep. And so, folks, this ends this evening's edition of the Grand Iron Power Hour. Join us tomorrow when my 2 guests will be Alex Cox and Jennifer Clifton. And join us again next Friday for another funny and crazy field.
Fun, frivolity, and laughs to be had by all. on the Gridiron Power Hour
After
After Hours Unedited Edition.
on YouTube. And we'll see you next time, folks.
Everywhere you get your beloved and talented pods.
And we'll see you guys next time.
See you tomorrow.
Lord Jesus.